What's up, everybody? Today, we're going to be talking about an issue that more and more people in the wrestling community have been recognizing as a growing problem: knee wrestling.
Ferrari again dropping back to his right knee. Ferrari again drops to the right knee from their feet. Walsh pulling them in that head. Ferrari wing to the right. Both wrestlers.
I define knee wrestling as either having one or both knees on the ground, typically in a tripod stance, for an extended period of time past what would reasonably be called action. In simpler terms, it's just when guys slide around on their knees in open space. Not attacking, not defending, just sliding around and looking for their opponent to make a mistake. I bet if you ask the average viewer, they'd probably agree that it's pretty lame to watch. I'd almost go as far as calling it the guard pulling of wrestling, although it's nowhere near as unfun to watch.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
But putting my personal feelings aside, there is one big reason why the knee stance is so bad for the sport: stalling. Stalling, under the NCAA rulebook, is defined as avoiding action in any position, that being neutral, top, or bottom, to delay the match. This prevents wrestlers from doing things like fleeing the mat to avoid giving up a takedown, or staying flat when on bottom to run out the clock. This ensures that both wrestlers are actively working to score at all times. This is where I think the knee stance crosses the line. But Max, you might say, I see guys wrestling on their knees all the time. Why do they rarely get called for stalling? To answer that, let's look at some fundamental stance theory to try and illustrate it. The first stance that all new wrestlers learn is what I'd call the default stance. It's bladed, meaning your lead leg is forward and your back foot is angled outward. It's pretty much the all-rounder stance. It offers decent offense and defense, but it doesn't particularly shine in any category. You'll typically see this stance in the first couple minutes of a match, where both guys will try to poke at each other and hand fight to get a sense of what the other guy will do. The next stance is the attack stance, which is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It resembles a default stance, except your back leg is further back and your weight is shifted forward more onto your lead leg. This position allows for a much quicker and more powerful offense, but it comes at the cost of having all of the risk localized onto your very exposed lead leg. You'll typically see this stance when guys are shooting from space. Some of the best examples of this stance are guys like Jordan Oliver, Mitchell Mesenbrink, and of course, Jordan Burroughs. Next is what I consider to be the opposite of the attack stance, the square stance, often called the 4-point stance because many wrestlers enjoy having both hands on the ground, such as yours truly. It allows for a much more stable base when hand fighting and puts you in a good position to hit re-attacks. Guys like Max McAnally are renowned for their lightning-quick re-attacks, but it comes at a cost against good guys who will rarely just give you the good opportunity to score. It's a game of pressure, and the matches are typically very low scoring, so getting taken down may force you to change your entire game plan for this match. All three stances I just mentioned have something in common. Each one has significant trade-offs. Whether it's a solid defense or a strong offense you need, there will always be something you're especially vulnerable to or have to give up. Now, let's look at the knee stance. Because the other guy is so low to the ground, they're going to beat you to your own leg 9 out of 10 times if you get too close. And unlike the squared stance, their legs are completely hidden, meaning the only way to engage them is to enter the danger zone and try to snap them down or go behind. Attacking into the stance puts you at a heavy disadvantage, and the only real way that you can attack them is when they decide to transition off of their knees. On its own, that isn't a problem. But when you factor in the fact the only risk the knee wrestler assumes in this scenario is being relatively immobile and has little to no incentive to get up, you get two guys circling and staring each other down for 2.5 periods and not attacking. I don't know about you guys, but to me that's pretty much the exact criteria of stalling. But it never gets called because both guys technically look active. And the most a referee will really ever do for it is call for action. Kinda like how all the UN will ever do is send a strongly worded letter of condemnation to whatever war-torn country they're supposed to be looking after. Thankfully though, the wrestling community has become much more vocal about it following recent performances by guys such as Angelo Ferrari and Jordan Williams of Iowa, who, by the way, are phenomenal wrestlers, and I'm not trying to throw shade on them in particular. But even their matches become awful to watch as soon as their knees hit the mat, which they do very often. But what do you guys think? Is this a problem that needs to be addressed by the NCAA? Or is this just a part of the sport that we need to accept? Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think, and please like and share the video. It helps the channel grow and helps me out massively. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Peace.